Welcome to Tailgate Talk, brought to you by friends at Buck Rub Outfitters. You can check them out, buckrubarchery.com. They're right up at Silverdale Road in Pewaukee. I know I got my bow there, Tasker got his there. We shoot there all the time and stuff. So whether you're, in the middle of turkey season and go, oh man, I need something, or you're getting ready for whitetail season, or just want to stay tuned up all year, Buck Rub Archery, go and check them out. So we're getting to the show this week, and we've got two special guests joining us in studio. Wags is out because he's somewhere in a blind chasing turkeys.
Gobblers.
Yeah, well, yeah, gobblers. He's chasing that double beard that he missed last year.
Probably.
Guarantee that's what it is. I got the text from him. He's like, oh, sorry, I'm going to be out again, boys. Busy. Notice how he didn't say he was busy or what he's busy doing?
Right.
And read between the lines. Yeah.
We know.
We know what's going on with that. We're going to talk about fishing because next weekend is the big opener here in Wisconsin of kind of the main fishing season. Of course, bass catch and release all year round. You can catch panfish inland year round. But really, we kind of look at that first weekend in May as the opener because that's when we get back after walleyes, and muskies, which is going to be the biggest part of the conversation in the show here this week. Our friend John Reznack back in studio with us.
What's going on?
It's been a while.
Thank you, guys.
Since we've had you. And Vince, is it Markwiese?
Markwiese. Close enough. Close. It's close.
See, I've got the German in me that I always want to go. I always want to lean certain ways. E before I-E, which way?
There you go.
So, you guys both spent a lot of time musky fishing together, so we're going to get in some conversation to that. But something we were just talking about. I love the sweatshirt, Amped Outdoors. We're talking about the boats and everybody getting their boats ready to go out and battery systems. You just made the switch recently, John.
Yep. Definitely worth it. Like I was saying before, went from 3 batteries, last year, seal lead acid batteries to lithium, running 4 batteries this year, and I'm still dropping weight while increasing my longevity and power and everything. It's totally worth
crazy.
it. You got to look into it. It's worth it.
I love the picture you posted up on your Instagram was doing like a curl with
25 pounds for a 100 amp hour battery.
Been in the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your workout then.
Tasker, you want to try that with the battery out of your car right now?
I'd probably, that's not bad though.
Man, crazy heavy. I'm looking into the change that I'm going to do. I was just with the new battery. Thank you, John, hooked me up with something. With my kayak, I'm actually going to rebuild everything instead of running like I kind of do the crate with everything. I'm going to build a full-on tackle power box now. So I'm going to take I'm still in the debate of whether I want to build out like a Craftsman toolbox into it or one of the Plano like outdoorsman storage things. But I want to set that up so everything will be built in battery. It'll have switches, USB ports, everything, and then store all my tackle. And obviously I have my rod holders on it. So it's one unit, just plug and plop right into my kayak because I always try and keep everything so mobile and so because I car top when I travel, so everything comes off my boat. I go bare to travel, so when I get to the launch, I have to put everything onto my boat. So anything I do to cut down some of that time was like, it just hit me. I was like, okay, this is what I have to do. So that's now the one project that I've added onward to my getting ready to go. I thought everything was ready to go. Like I've went through tackle, I'm organized, I'm setting up, and then I'm like, this last one, I'm like, you know what I should do? I should build an all-in-one. So I think I have my weekend
Just add it to the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was out last weekend and I texted you saying that I was out fishing and you're like, oh, so you're out on the yak? I'm like, no, man, it was like a scramble and we had the track meet for the kid. My wife is like, well, it's so nice outside. Why don't you go fishing? And I'm like, I'm going to go fish. Yes, I'm going to go fishing. And it was the middle of the afternoon already. So I'm like, I'm just going to go out to shore fish, whatever. I'm not going to get the kayak rack out and everything. And I'm like, I am not at all ready for the season. I'm like not prepared in any way, shape, or form. So I grabbed my tackle box that I always put. I've just got like a flip top. Yeah. And just threw that in the car, grabbed both of my fishing poles, and I'm like, I'm just going to go out. I'll grab some worms on the way and throw a couple of those, throw a couple of baits out there, and I'm like, whatever. I didn't catch anything, but I was like, you know what? This feels so nice just to be out here, and it was like 80 degrees.
You got the dust knocked right off. I haven't gotten any of my stuff ready. I mean, I got 35 rods that I got to put line on. I got to load the boat up with it's ridiculous. Like I'm like Ritter. I'm sitting there and you're like, all right, I can do this to the boat. I can do this.
Right.
Oh man, it's next week. I got to get my. So it's like just a mad dash right now to get everything ready.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got my license. I'm like, you know what? That's always like the first step that I know summer's coming is that you go out and actually buy your fishing license. which is always nice just to knock that out of the way. And it's like the turning the key to start the engine. It's like all the excitement starts now.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, totally. Now, I want to tell a little backstory of how we've got John and Vince in studio with us today and kind of how this whole thing came about was actually an Instagram post. I posted on our Instagram, we follow us at On The Tailgate, something about musky fishing and how many casts did it take you to catch your first muskie. John would have commented on it, then got Mark involved. Was like, we should get in the studio. I'm like, yeah, we should all get in the studio and chit chat and have a good time about this. So it just goes to show that you never know. Like one Instagram post or replying or jumping onto a comment, you could end up in studio. Like you could end up on the show doing something. So, should we take a quick break, or should we jump right into some chit chat about muskies and stuff? I kind of feel like we
what
need
else?
to.
I don't know. The one thing that I saw was, isn't the free fishing weekend usually the first weekend that the opener is? I always thought it was like the second weekend or the first weekend of May, but this year it's the 4th and 5th of June.
Yeah, no, it's usually around there, Jude. It's usually you're right around Memorial Day. It's either Memorial Day weekend, like right after Memorial Day weekend. Is usually when they roll it in. I thought it was always the
first weekend rolling into like the big opener.
Because everything rolls itself in together and nobody knows what day it is still. I mean, we're still stuck in this weird world of you don't know what month is what. I mean, look at the weather we've had recently here in Wisconsin. Is it December or is it April? I've been seriously considering, like, did I go backwards in time?
I know.
It's funny. My buddy Vince, Brody, my buddy Brody, he's on the Clam team as well, too. He lives down here in, southeast Wisconsin. He just got done ice fishing this past weekend, and he did his northern tour, still taking snowmobiles out there. All the little lakes that he would find up there. He was still ice fishing up until last week. And it's like, wow, it's the middle and the end of April. What are you doing ice fishing? This is we should be getting ready to go on a boat. Well,
it's like completely different. It's like a different world once you get up. Like once you start to head up north, like we were out, I can't remember what weekend that was, but maybe the second weekend of March. I think that's when it was. We went up and we just did some scouting, did some shed hunting. We're up like in the Eau Claire area. Okay. And all of the lakes up there still were completely covered. I mean, not even edges thawed.
Right.
And it's like you come down here and then you drive past, I drive past Pike Lake like every day basically, and it's completely open.
Yep.
I know,
so it's like him and I just keep going back and forth, and it's like, oh well, the edges are starting to open up, the center's still a little frozen, but it's like one of these days, and now all of a sudden it was like overnight, it seemed we had those 2 really warm days and it just completely opened everything up down here.
We want to go to the next extreme. I mean, you follow our boy Gussie, and what they've got up there in Lake of the Woods. They're still sitting on tons of ice. Ballard's Black Island there in Canada. Now it's reopened. We're headed up there this summer, which, by the way, they've got 2-for-1 rates on some select dates throughout summer, and I've actually got a video on my YouTube channel talking about why Lake of the Woods is the best place to fish in 2022, because I honestly believe it is going to be an epic year.
It's going to be crazy.
If they can get out on the water. Right. Once they get the ice off.
At some point,
My goodness. I mean, that's what Gussie was posting photos, was it last week I saw, of just how much ice was still up there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now normally when I would take that trip to Canada, it was right around the opener. So it was like end of May, right? It was usually, I would get up there the weekend before Memorial Day, and the Memorial Day weekend was when I was traveling back. And I'm like, are they still going to have ice Memorial Day weekend with as much that's still up there?
I'm question that.
We're going in August, not May.
Ontario's not going to have an opener on Lake of the Woods unless something. They had like a blizzard of blizzards last week, I saw, too.
Oh, so that's just crazy.
It could be worse. We could be in Ontario, Canada. Instead, we're in southern Wisconsin and just debating whether it's going to drizzle and snow or be sunny and 70 or what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm just curious, seeing as I haven't been out yet, how the fish are reacting to all of the crazy weather patterns. Like, I feel like you can't even start to think about them moving in specific areas right now because everything's just been so bonkers. Just when you think like, oh, it might be starting to warm, it's like, oh, no, it's cold. So are they going to push up? Are they going to push down? They're like in weird purgatory.
Well, that's what I was saying when we were texting last weekend, that, I went to my spot that I fish off the shore, and I'm like, I know it's too cold, and it's been so cold that I'm sure the water temp hasn't risen enough. So we were going back and forth, and I'm like, this is amazing. It's like a spot that if I just want to go and catch a couple fish, whether they're big or small or whatever, I know I can go to this spot and I can catch fish.
You needed the yak. I think I know where they are in the lake. I pointed out. I'm pretty sure I know where they're at right now.
Yeah, so we'll get it out this weekend and get everything up and running for sure.
It's Ritter and Tasker. You can follow us on socials, at On The Tailgate. I'm at The Real Ritter, at Wisco Bowhunter. Eric Tasker, yes, we made a change.
Oh, Wisco bow hunting.
Wisco bow hunting. See, I don't even know.
I always do that wrong.
I'm still stuck on the old one. Wisco bow hunting.
Yeah. I just figured it was time to I don't know, do something different. And, I've got all my content from TikTok, which, I don't know, whatever. Which I recently got into it with somebody on TikTok after our conversation with the OKest Hunter. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not happy with that dude. And he's like one of those guys that just always has something to say. He's like the one guy that always goes on and comments about like his obnoxious opinion about everything. So I posted this video that just said the first was a trail. All 4 pictures were trail cam pictures. One was of me walking in front of my camera, and then it was 3 nice bucks. And they're not. I mean, they're deer that I would hang on the wall.
Right.
But this guy says something like 5 months, maybe more like 2 years and 5 months until those bucks are ready. So I replied to his comment and made another video with like closer pictures of those bucks, which they're all beautiful deer. I'm like, all right, guy, you're the problem with the hunting community because there's nothing wrong with those deer at all.
Right, and why are you going out of your way on TikTok to comment on my video? You know what I mean? Like, what's,
It's just, people like that just drive me crazy, and we talk about that all the time, that it's like, what, we need to be better. Be better out there.
It was a great conversation we had, actually, with the OKest Hunter last week on the show, which if you didn't catch that, it's available on the podcast. Just search it out in the iHeartRadio app, Tailgate Talk, or link to it from our site there. But yeah, we had a good time chatting with them about exactly that, about social media and the influence that it has on people, and I think the responsibility of people on social media when it comes to things, of not shaming and of being careful of not, I don't want to say not showing things that make hunting and fishing look bad, but not showing things that make hunting and fishing look bad. I mean, I remember I posted on a TikTok, there was some people, I'm pretty sure it was northern Minnesota, that they did or maybe it's northern Wisconsin. It was they took like a crappie, like a good sized crappie, and they like filled its mouth full of Jim Beam and did a shot out of the crappie. And I'm like, see, this is the crap that makes us all all look bad. When you post stupid, crap like that.
Right, stereotepical. See, that's what they're doing.
Just do it out of a boot or a crock or something. That you do it like a normal stick. I mean, come on.
Jesus, man.
No, there's always going to be trolls, I even get it, too. Like, I'll post, like, a TikTok video, and it's like, what does Wisco or Wisconsin have to do with anything? I'm like, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not even bad. Like, if I hashtag it, and it's like, why, but why even make that? I was like, well, maybe because I'm from Wisconsin.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, but making the point to just kind of troll it. I'm like, it doesn't bother me, but you see it a lot, like it's a career for people, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's why the change happened. So I've got the different Instagram now. And as I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm going to try and get people, like all of my friends that would like to like the page, but I don't know that I'm going to follow like a ton of like my other friends.
You can try to separate them.
I want to try and have like an all outdoors feed when I go through that. So that's like kind of what I was thinking through. I'm like, whatever. It's more on brand, and it's more really basically all of the content that I post is typically around that, or like I said last week, it's like country concerts.
My Facebook, there's probably people on like my personal Facebook that have no clue that I do YouTube or anything. Because I don't talk about it. It's not a thing.
Right.
It's a completely different world. I mean, and maybe on Instagram post a little bit. I try not to do too much of it on there.
Sure.
But yeah, I try and keep that all there and keep it separate. Yeah. So like my Instagram is like the outdoors part of me. My personal Facebook, really, I don't even post on Facebook. It's more like my wife posts something and I just like,
you get tagged
I approve
in
it and it's on there. Like, that's all my Facebook feed is.
I know. That's how it goes though, really.
Yeah. Like, I basically use it to maintain my like outdoors, my fishing page. So like I have a personal that just basically is the backdoor into maintaining that page.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, want to talk about musky fishing. John and Vince in studio with us this week. So mentioned social media. Instagram was where this all came from at a post that we had put up about how many casts it takes you, or did it take you to catch your first muskie? Being muskie is thought of as the fish of 10,000 casts. How many? Do you guys have a count as to how many your first muskie you ever caught?
I don't know about it exactly. It took me a little bit, to be honest. I mean, I was a young buck back in my heyday, but I wasn't fishing. I mean, I was grade school, It took, I would say, a couple seasons for me, but I was only going like up north on family vacations, 2 weeks out of the year. But I would say about my second year, I landed one on a topwater.
That's solid.
Oh yeah, and that's what set the addiction off. From there, I'm the musky guy now.
Yeah.
So, but Johnny.
John?
For me, caught them as a byproduct or a bycatch bass fishing. That's how I caught my first muskie. Was that chasing them. What was it, Vince? Probably 3 trips.
Yeah.
First one was with Nick, where I first met you.
Yeah.
Second one, we went on another trip up with Nick.
Yep.
Turned that muskie trip into a smallie trip. We caught
Sounds like my kind of trip.
Yeah. And then after that, it was the tournament.
Yeah.
And that was like my first official muskie. So it was like my third trip, like really muskie fishing.
Them, right.
That we caught it in the tournament.
Then we started linking up, and then he's like, "Man, I keep catching all these dang muskies when I'm bass fishing." I'm like, "Wait, what? Okay, let me know what I should be doing. Hold on." Like, so then I kind of adapted my tactics, and so
I'm the same as you, John. My first muskie was actually a byproduct, ice fishing walleyes.
Ooh, that's cool.
On the Fox River in De Pere. It was ice. It was a small one, but it was on a tip up. Ice fishing. That was the first muskie I ever caught. I think it was like 16 maybe at the time. And then, a lot of it's just byproduct bass fishing, big time in Canada. I mean, it's happened a ton of times. Been up there, throwing swim jigs and stuff, especially early in the spring when, muskie's still closed up there. But it just so happens, they're chasing smaller baits typically in spring anyway. So smashing the swim jig or some, bigger spinner baits or something like that. You guys get out right? You guys gonna get out right away? Either of you? I mean,
I cannot wait for the opener. I'm just counting down the days. Like we talked about too. It's like, I think I'm ready. Every time I think I'm ready, then there's more things. I'm like, I'm not even close to being ready. But yeah, opener. I got the all month of May planned out. Weekends. If I could get out during the week, we'll try. But
I find that muskie anglers and bow hunters run side by side. They have the same addiction, passion for what they do. I mean, you being the bow hunting.
I feel like we're talking about bow season right now.
Huge bow hunter too. And I think that's what it is. It's like the challenge, that adrenaline rush, like working for that. You know what I mean? Like gun deer and bow hunting, totally like two completely different, worlds. Mm-hmm. And it's that working to get it, just like a big buck. If you're working them in during the rut and getting them in range and picking your shot. It's just that putting in all that max effort, and then when it happens so quick. But it's like such a huge high where it's like, I need more. And that's at least for me. So bow hunters and like the whole muskie fishing, totally true statement there. At least I feel that way.
Yeah. And I also think they're both the game that it's okay if you don't harvest. You're okay just seeing it. It was a success.
Yes. Right.
If you can just
100%.
If you can raise a fish, if you see a muskie, it was a great day. Like no other time you think about it, someone comes back in from going out fishing. It's like, how'd you do? Oh, I got skunked. Oh, it's a bummer. Muskie fishing be like, well, I saw 2 fish. Yeah. And they're like,
right?
And like a bowler, the same thing.
Yes,
I didn't shoot one, but I saw a big buck, or I had a chance, or I saw 17 does walk across the field. And it still feels like a success. Muskies and whitetail, they're like, it's parallel.
Sure, it is really seriously. That's a totally accurate statement. But yeah, even on days, and I like the fact for muskie fishing, or at least like how I like run my boat, bringing buddies out or whatever. It's a team effort. It's not like I got this fish or I moved 4 fish. It's, we got, 2 fish in the boat that day. It's like I get just as excited if John's out with me and I net a fish and it's, we boated a fish.
That's it.
It's a team effort.
It's totally, we're working side by side. It's okay, let's see what these fish are moving on. What's going to get them going? John, you're going to throw blades. I'm going to throw a glider. Let's see the approach. So it's almost like you're working together, and once you pattern them and see what they're moving on, then you guys all kind of dial it in, switch to that specific bait or approach. So I like the team aspect of it as well. You guys are all kind of working side by side on it.
I've looked at it like hunting when up in Canada before too. Get into some bays and find a couple or raise a couple in a bay, but they don't get them to bite. It's like, okay, we're coming back tomorrow.
Right.
And we've done it like different times.
Yeah.
They're still in this bay. They're in this little cove. Can I get her to raise again? Can I get her to raise again?
Yep.
And playing that game. In fact, almost got ourselves in trouble with falling short of a walleye limit a couple years ago up there. It was like the last day we're going, let's go chase muskies all day today.
Oh yeah.
That was all. Quick, tell us
5 hours later.
So we ran around all day, basically chasing muskies and catching a couple smallmouth. But then it was like, okay, we just needed 2 quick walleyes to finish out a walleye limit and take them home and be good to go. There was 10 minutes left before we had to be back at the lodge. So we find this little hump that's like just around the corner from the lodge and get out there. We got 10 minutes. The clock is ticking, and we're only keeping 2 17s. 15, 15, 19, 15, 17, 17. Dude, we're done. It was like in seconds. It was like
that's awesome.
It was the dream. It was like the bass fisherman is like, okay, well, I just need one quick good upgrade.
Yep.
And right around the corner, you stop before you hit the launch, and you pluck a 5-pounder, and you make a 3-pound call, and you're good to go. It was one of those kind of feelings.
The picture perfect. Like,
seal the deal.
Clouds part, and sun rays come down. The angels are singing in the
It
background.
never works that way, though. Usually never works that way.
That's the day that everybody dreams of, though.
Yeah.
Just being able to get a number of them in quickly.
We laughed ourselves. We're like, okay, we were so cocky all day. Like, we can catch a walleye anywhere on this lake, not a problem.
Yeah.
But it's like we just decided we had to make it so difficult on ourselves to like, okay, we got 10 minutes to get it done.
But it makes it that much cooler at the same time,
In those moments where you are just so focused and you end up catching those 2 fish, right away, right at the last second. It was like Vince and I, when we fished our first Muskie tournament together, we were done by 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The tournament started at 6. Done fishing by 6:30 in the morning. There's only been 2, like really in my tournament years, there was only 2 tournaments in my whole entire life where I was, done fishing, hour, 2 hours into the tournament. And that was the first one with Vince, and then another one was on Pewaukee, where we, my buddy Jason and my buddy Roger, we fished a 3-man tournament, and we were done fishing at, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and we had 25 pounds of smallies on a southeastern lake in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's something
like
you're only going to find
unheard of
up in the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
I mean, even Lake Winnebago, you're not going to get that because Winnebago fish only run 3.5, 4 pounds tops.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
So those moments where you key in on that, and like those are the days you remember. It's like,
absolutely.
Every once in a while I'll text Vince. Remember when we won that little green tournament by 6:30 in the morning? I took a nap in the boat that day, and
Seriously, then we both did. We traded off.
Yeah, we traded off.
This is crazy.
We took naps out there and
in a tournament.
Wow.
At that point, you couldn't catch any more fish. So we caught what was yours, like a 36, 37?
Something like that.
And then mine was a 38, and then we were done fishing, and it was just like, well, we can't catch any more fish. And Vince is up there casting. He goes, I got to catch a 50. I got to catch a 50. And I'm like, dude, it's not going to make a difference. Like, 50 is a good fish, but like, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to win us more money or anything.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, we ended up catching 6 fish that day.
Yeah, we did.
Solid day.
It was almost kind of like, and then you're in a tournament. It's like, you got other boats watching. They see that we're boating fish, so they're coming and working our structure. And I'm like, do I throw on something that I don't want to use? Like, what do I do in this situation? You know what I mean? Like, when you're fishing for money and competitively,
dangle a bait that you're just not using. Like, put a coffee cup on the end.
Right.
Swear, I'm throwing this.
But it's like I don't have it in me though. I'm like, I did it for like 10 casts, and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm on the water. Like, this is perfect. I got to catch fish. But I like that they changed. I see a lot of tournaments now because that was once you caught your 2 fish, you were done. But now, I think they restructured it where they'll take your best. You can only register 2, but your total length. So
you can call off.
Yeah,
so you can keep going. Because like, what do you do when you're done? Like, it was like, well, we have like 8-9 hours left. Like,
Right.
what do we do?
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy?
Remember that napping on the boat thing you said? Does that sound like a bow hunter?
Yes.
Am I finding all of the musky and bow hunting parallels today?
I see why we're doing this now. Yeah. I see why he set this up and why he had to be a part of this one.
Ritter and Tasker in studio with John Reznack and Vince Markwiese. I said it wrong again.
Yes, you did.
Markwiese.
Markwiese.
It's like Mark Boardman. We had him on Vortex Optics.
Yeah.
But I messed up his name really bad too.
Broadman,
I was like, is
it
it Broadman? Like, I knew what it was, but I'm just being a smart person of things.
Just getting it started.
Which I'm still waiting. By the way, speaking of Vortex Optics and Mark Boardman, I'm waiting for the royalties check for the over-under game that they started playing in the Vortex Nation podcast. Because Mark got that from being on this show and playing over-under. And they started doing it immediately after that. So, Mark, I'm saying just a little royalty would be nice.
Yeah,
or something
Vortex.
Like that.
Get it together.
A new pair of binoculars, I'd go with that.
I'd take a rangefinder.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see? We're on the same page again.
Finding parallels between musky fishermen and bow hunters. That's what week's show is, pretty much. But no, John and Vincent talking muskies and musky fishing. This all kind of got together over a post on our Instagram, which if you don't follow us, it's @OnTheTailgate. We mentioned how many casts did it take you to catch your first muskie. And we kind of talked around the room some of our first. Have you caught a muskie at all,
I'm
Tasker?
not, no. I've caught a couple pikes, but Besides that, no. So
We're going to change that.
yeah, this is going to be a great year. We're going to have
change
this
Let's go.
have this figured out.
We can even nap if you want.
I mean, yeah, it'll be just like hunting. I love this.
If not that, we'll definitely change that when we get up to Canada.
When we
I'm
get
gonna
up to Canada,
change
yeah.
that. I'm going to convert you to a brownfish freak too while we're up there
Yeah.
for sure. That's
And
fun.
man, like I always say, I'm happy just to catch anything. I honestly, I don't care what it is. I'm just happy to catch fish. So
All right, so Wisconsin opens next weekend, the big fishing opener. Talking muskies here this week. I'm going to know, kind of curious, what's your favorite way to catch them? Because I know this is a controversy. Wags couldn't make it on the show this week, but Wags is a river floater. That's the way he loves to fish muskies. He's the Chippewa flambeau floating type guy. How do you guys like to catch muskies, aside from bycatches, John?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even own a musky rod. I mean, I just had to borrow
Your flipping
Vince's.
stick works the
Yeah,
same.
it does.
Pretty much.
But I like throwing glides. You know, it's like fishing a bass bait. You know, it's like fishing a jerk bait type deal, and I don't know. It's easy on the body. I mean, musky fishing hurts at the end of the day when you're throwing a pounder all day or double tens or whatever. I mean, that hurts at the end of the day. So.
Bruise on the side of the ribs there from yanking the dogs or the
Right.
claw hand, from 16 hours of straight just going hard. I like the glide baits too. I mean, I've never done that river fun. That sounds really cool. I would like to get into some more aspects of that. I'm pretty much just casting. I'm not a big trolling guy. I've done it, and I've caught a few, especially like when we're up on like the flambeau flowage or a Chippewa, and when they're down deep, and the only way to get them down, your bait's down there, is by trolling. You know what I mean? So it is what it is at that point. But I just, I like casting. It's like that. Like it's almost like going back to the whole bow hunting thing. You know what I mean? It's getting personal with it. And I'm a big like jerk bait, glide bait kind of guy too. Working those weed edges. That's kind of my bread and butter. Name of the game there. Working structure, So
not a floating a sucker type person that I thought about doing that last fall because we've talked about it on the show. My goal is to put a muskie in my kayak. I want to put a muskie in my lap. I think that's just one of those goals that I want to do after fishing the Pacific Ocean and doing all those things. I'm like, no, a toothy just beast that I grew up with in my lap, just it needs to happen. And those other people that have done it. You can search on the YouTube. There's video clips of people doing it, and I'm like, I need to experience that.
Pulling you around a little bit.
Right,
too,
so I thought
that'd be so cool.
for
I was like,
sleigh
maybe
ride.
the fall and just sitting floating a sucker might be my best option to get it done. Because again, I'm trying to not go out on super crowded lakes that are full of all of the fun skiers, and it just happens a lot of our good musky lakes in southeastern Wisconsin are the same
party
pleasure
lakes.
boat, fun jet ski type. And when you're in a kayak, people don't quite give you the respect that they should.
Right.
Right.
I found a lot of times.
Unfortunately, it's you don't. I mean, what we were fishing that fishing tournaments even too, and it's coming whipping by. I mean, 50 yards from your boat with the two, and it's just like. You got the whole lake out there. Like, I get it. It's for everyone. I'm not that guy.
Right.
But it's like when I'm in 7 foot of water and the shore's right there, I'm like, why do you got to go in between me and the shore? And I'm casting.
Right.
It's just like that sort of thing. Same thing in a kayak. I'm in a kayak. You're in a boat with a 200 or 150 horse. Like, come on, guy. You know what I mean? So you'd hope people would be like that. But I mean, people are people.
I was all the way tucked back in a corner on a lake last summer, and a guy came through towing a skier, and he goes all the way past me, back farther into the corner, sets up, gets the guy up on the ski, and could have just kind of moored out a little bit slower or something. He just hammers it right before he gets past me, so he's coming full speed and was within 200 yards, just hauling right by. I'm like, bro, you have the whole lake to turn around. This wasn't like it's a small lake;
So
it's a big
obnoxious.
lake.
Right. That's the thing. That's
And
kind
I'm
of.
I'm tucked back here in the corner again. I'm in 7 feet of water.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Little respect is all.
Grinds my
that's-
gears.
Right, yeah.
It grinds my gears.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's we all sit around and we say the same things, and it's give us a little space, give us a little respect no matter what. Does no one else do that? Or do we do that and then we get in the water and we don't give each other respect? I wonder that sometimes.
I mean, so look at some of the, the big bass tournaments, right? There's sometimes, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago, there was a big tournament and guys were literally bumping boats next to each other, fishing that one piece of structure. Fishing wise, I think it's just a matter of.
Is that the Kevin Van Dam fight year situation?
Not with Mike. It could have been with Ike. No, I think it was Andy Morgan. I think it was on the FLW side before that, all switched over. But I think it's just mainly communication, like angler wise, definitely communication. I don't care. Like, you can fish right next to me. If I'm fishing a piece of structure and there's fish on there, like, all right, you got the same structure too. Go ahead and fish it. Just talk to me about it. It's just like ice fishing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talk to me before you come drill a hole right next to me. You talk to me, hey, whatever. It's a lake. Fish it. I don't care.
I find myself when I'm out fishing and I'll see, dad, his dad, and son, the 3 generations out, pan fishing or, casting or just, whatever. And I'm bass fishing along, catching, and I'll just kind of mosey on past them as I'm fishing around them and go, oh, yeah, I'm catching them on this or whatever, and just tell them, like, hey, because I love to see the kid catch some fish.
Right.
I think, like, most of the time, too, like John was saying, if you just talk or you're friendly and you're just not, like, going out of your way to kind of be, like, that guy, most of us, like anyone else, I'm sure in this room, would not have a problem with that, or you just show that kind of respect. Like, you want to see everyone have a good time. It's not like I'm out here to, like, one-up you. It's kind of like a personal, like, game thing, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, you just, you're always going to have that other guy,
Isn't that how it is for a lot of things, though? I mean, we've been talking about a lot of the crossover between hunting and fishing. I mean, a lot of people won't even say, like, where they hunt, because they're so worried that somebody else is going to go there, for public lands and stuff. I mean, we hunt public land, and it's like...
What I do last year, I'm like, hey, come on out, here's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, here's what to do. Here's where to set up. Here's what's working here. Here's where I've been there. Like, go shoot one. Great. Congratulations. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. Like,
it's kind of like duck hunting public land, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, down here, guys get over fist fights about it. Oh, I'm going to hunt this area. And it's like, well, okay, talk to me. If you, small group, let's just all hunt together. I don't really care. I'm just out here to
But so
see
many
birds
people are like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to have, like, my space and all that.
Some of that, growing up in Green Bay, on the west shore of Green Bay, you'll get some of that where, there's some of that more stuff you get back in. And, 3 or 4 trucks show up and everybody lines up and, you boom, 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 as they fly all the way down the water coming through. Wow. But I've always thought, just talk about it or set up like, hey, I'm planning to head down farther down here. Right. Or where are you going? And there was one situation bow hunting last year where I met up with a guy in a parking lot and he's like, oh yeah, I've seen, your vehicle in here a couple times, whatever. Just want to know where you're headed off to. And I was still getting ready to go. And he finished up before me. So he came over to me and first started talking was I was going to talk to him anyway. And that's when he mentioned, like, oh, well, I might head down here and, start out what I'm looking for. And I looked at him and was like, you talking about that giant 9? And he's like, or I said giant 10. He goes, are you sure it wasn't 9? I go, well, I thought I counted 10. And he starts pulling up his trail cameras. I'm like, yep, that's the one. Like, that's it. Happened, like the same deer, but going in totally different areas for him. And I'm like, perfect. Like, good luck. I hope you get it.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about. So it can be done. It can be done where everyone, can work together, and doesn't have to be that way. But
yeah, people are just so protective of that stuff. It's kind of weird.
Musky fishing. Favorite lake in Wisconsin to catch them on? We mentioned a couple different lakes, a couple different areas. You don't have to.
Did I set that up, or I wasn't intending on giving that away, but I guess I set that up.
I told you we would talk about this.
Yeah, I'm not that way. I've never been totally like anti. You know what I mean? I'll tell you straight up.
Exactly. My same theory on that. I will say a lake. You still have to be able to find him and catch him. Right. Just by saying, the whole spot burn stuff that people have post photos on social media and blur out the background. I don't ever do that.
Same,
why?
No.
If you can pick out the lake, dude, that's awesome. Congrats. You're
you
aware of
that
like
lake
your YouTube
enough.
videos. It's like,
you've been able to pick out some of the stuff that I've done.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know exactly what lake you're on. And then I'll ask the question, were you on this lake? Oh, yeah, I was on that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you're going to put in that amount of effort to really, if you don't know, or you can figure it out, then, you deserve to go fish that. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't care.
Or you're familiar enough with it that you fished it enough that you're like, oh, yeah, well, I was just on the other corner from where he is or whatever.
Exactly.
Well, the lake, and I don't know if you want to say the name, but the lake that you guys did the Musky tournament on, I right away quick jump my Navionics and I'm looking, and I circled 2 spots and I texted back to John and I was like, oh, these are 2 spots I would totally go. He's like, oh yeah, I caught my Musky off of that one right there.
Yeah. So no, I'll totally say yes. I love for at least southeastern Wisconsin, Little Green. That's my lake. I've been up there for how long has it been? I mean, man, it's
You've been up there a long time.
15 years.
And that's one I've never fished. I've fished bass on Big Green. Big Green has kicked my tail. It's kicked my teeth in before.
You know, I like the big thing for me. It's a really small lake. I mean, I forget the square. What is it?
It's about the size of Wood Lake, so it's like just under 400 acres.
Yeah, it might even be like around 4,
it's about
3 something.
Yeah, like 370
so, I mean,
or so.
You're basically working that lake and you're going through the same spots or whatever. I mean, it's not. But I do like it compared to your Pewaukee, Okachi, Oconomowoc, that stuff. Just because the pleasure boating, you're just not getting that track. I will drive, at least for me, from being around this area down here. I will take the extra drive, and it's not too far to go out there and fish compared to, fishing these lakes down here. Not that the lakes, Pewaukee and those type of lakes are bad, but you're not going to have all that boat traffic. It's kind of like that small town feel. You're in the town of Markwiese. People are friendly. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get those controversial situations we're just discussing up there where people are sharing information. Hey, how you doing, Frank? Or I come through, the kid's back. It's just like that small town kind of feel. That's all there is Little Green and Markwiese. That's it. That's it.
Directions to somewhere they're telling you, go down the road past this road.
When you see the second bait shop.
Yeah, then turn left there, and it's going to be off on the right next to the Johnson's farm. If you see it on your left and you've gone too far, you got to turn around and come back. And before,
if you see Marty's cattle, they're always out. They're probably going to take a U-turn. It's like, okay, but I like that. That's kind of like my, my forte. But it's a really cool lake. The only thing that in the recent years that, I don't know how long they've been doing it for now. They started spraying the weeds. And once they do that, I finally had to make the decision. Obviously the fish are still in there, but it is a night and day difference of catching fish.
Any fishery feels that, no matter what you're fishing for. A change in, it's a change in structure, a change in home, and they got to relocate, and that throws the whole system off.
Water clarity, everything goes from, the water almost looks like that, like tinted brown, like almost like you're fishing the flowage or something.
That tannic color. Yeah. And it was crazy because I fished that lake in my kayak when I had it for bass, and there was a kayak bass tournament out there. And I'm like, I'm not going to even really pre-fish for it because of the amount of times that I've fished it for muskies. I have an idea of it. And I've caught some pretty big bass out there, too.
We've caught some monsters.
On muskie.
For me, byproducts, catching 5, even 6-pounders.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, they're out there. So then I go out and fish that muskie tournament, the bass tournament. There was no weeds, and I started to panic. But then I thought to myself, all right, so if I find weeds, if they're all cut, the fish are going to be there. They're going to be on some sort of structure. And, you got your drop-offs there. You have the deeper water. You got a lot of docks out there. You got rock flats. But it was like once you found the weeds, you kind of found the fish. And that was the same thing, that Vince would stress to me when we would fish the muskie tournaments out there. Oh, we got to find the weeds. We got to fish the weed edges. We got to do all this kind of stuff. But don't be afraid to go deep. Don't be afraid to go shallow. And, I think you still got the lake record out there, right, Vince?
I never possibly. I never had like a DNR verified. So from what I'm told from
here comes the fishtail.
The locals. No, my good buddy Todd Schultz, he runs a bait shop landing on Little Green out there. We had one of those days where we probably moved like 15 fish.
Wow, that's an unbelievable day.
And it got really windy. Fishing the windy side of the lake, and I had a monster. Over 4-foot fish, pushing 50, come in, boat side, go into my figure 8. And it's one of those, like, I don't know if you guys ever had this experience, but when you see it actually bite your lure, your lure next to the boat, almost when you see it happen, it, like, messes you up. Like, it makes kind of no sense. But all of a sudden, like, I see it, it clamps down on the lure. It's got a mouthful. My line goes slack. I'm like,
you don't know what to do.
Yeah, I set the hook. I pull the lure right out of its mouth, and I'm worked all day for this fish. Yeah. All day.
Was just gonna say that's the number one mistake that people make.
Yes,
is setting it, like pulling it away. You got to set it into the face.
Into the face. It's almost like getting buck fever,
right?
It's like all of a sudden you lose all composure and everything goes out your head, and you just Yeah. There's the fish, and I am mad. I even, took the rod, got it in the water. I'm like, I'm done.
You went full Ike and Ellie.
Oh, dude, I was so mad, and I was with the guy, and he's like, hey, we're moving fish, kind of talking me off the ledge, a little bit. I'm like, all right, let's get back out there, you know? So, but I mean, not even 10 casts later, here comes what looks like just a tree coming in, you know? I mean, it was a 52 and a half. But yeah, Same thing. So going through that situation and really replaying it, just like with any life lesson, like learning from these mistakes or things that when you mess up in the field or on the lake, and same situation. I mean, happened, you know, that close. It never really happens like one after another, but comes in on the figure 8. I see it hit the lure, back into its face. Next thing you know, I got a freaking monster fish in the net.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I catch and release. You know, we got blown into shore, and it was one of those. It was like heat of August. I mean, it was like hot. So we were like, we need to get this fish back in the water right away. You know, so we got it in. We took our pictures, our measurements, and when we went back into the bait shop, you know, I tell him, you know, what I told Todd what I caught. The guy runs it. And he's like, no, you didn't, dude. Like, what do you mean? You know, pull up the pictures. He's like, oh my, you realize like the record is a 51 1/4. It's, you know, mounted on Vandy's. There's a bar called Vandy's out on there, and so from what I told, it's, you know, I haven't seen a bigger fish being caught. If there is, that's awesome. But as far as I know, that's the biggest fish, and I mean they're in there. I mean, it's crazy to see, you know, you guys, you know, you think go up to the bay or go up to
I'd still
Vilas County.
The next world record is coming out of the Bay.
100%. I mean, those are dinosaur fish out there. I mean, think of that. I mean, but, you know, you don't have, it's cool, and I, you know, hook up buddies, or I tell John, you know, it's really cool to have that, like stuff like those little hidden gems in southern Wisconsin where you don't have to necessarily drive how far away to go up and get, I mean, that caliber of a fish. I think there's mid-50s in this body. I mean, I've seen monsters. I mean, I've had days where 2 upper 40s are coming in at the same bait. Or I had a, you know, Memorial Day. Remember Memorial Day weekend of a number of years? We moved over 150 fish in 3 days. Muskies. Wow. I mean, Jesus.
It was one where we were fishing, and Vince calls me and he goes, "Hey, you got to drop everything. You got to come musky fish with me."
I was like, "I don't care what you're doing, what you got to tell the old lady."
He's like, "You need to be here. You got to drop everything." So I dropped everything, and we went out there for 5 hours, and I think we moved that day like 40 or 50 fish.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was one point where we had 2 follows. High 40s, low 50s.
He's got one coming in. I got one coming in. We got 2 on the same bait. It was just like, what is going on? But we couldn't get him to hit.
Yeah, it was for whatever reason. Wow. We moved so many fish that day. But, you know, same thing with Little Green. That's like my go-to. You know, I don't musky fish that much. So it's like, if I know I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to go somewhere where it's high percentage, right?
Sure.
And I went out there, height of the pandemic type deal. And I took my other buddy out there, and he's never caught a muskie. He's kind of musky fished a little bit. So I'm like, I'm going to show you how to do it. I bass fished most of the morning. And then Vince was out there at the same time. And I'm like, all right, Merle, I'm going to show you how to, you know, figure 8 a fish and all that kind of stuff. Here we go. I make the cast. I'm working the glide bait in. And next thing you know, as I'm figure 8ing, and this fish never followed. So I don't know where it came from, but it was my first figure 8 fish. And I looked at him, my buddy Merle, when we were in his boat, and I'm like, dude, I am so sorry. That was supposed to be your fish. Like, this was a teaching moment. This wasn't supposed to happen. Dude, I'm so sorry.
It was a nice fish,
It was like
a 42 or something.
Yeah,
it was a nice, solid fish. And the thing, too, with Little Green is not even just, like, musky-wise, but it is just a healthy fishery. I mean, the walleye, the bass, I don't think they have smallmouth. I think it's all largemouth. But I mean,
you got to go up the road a little bit to big to get the brown fish. But they're tough to catch on Big Green. Those small ones are very tough to catch on Big Green.
I mean, you could fish shallow and you could fish deep. I mean, there's a couple areas, you know, a couple shorelines where the dock ends in 20 feet of water, and then just on the other side of the boat, so an extra, 4 or 5 feet, it's like 80 foot of water.
That's the kind of stuff I fished on a reservoir in West Virginia. Weirdest fishing experience ever is wild. When you're like casting to a shoreline and 3 feet from the shore, it's 121 feet straight down. You're fishing in treetops of 100-foot tall trees.
Yep.
It was
seriously?
It was absolutely one of those bonkers experiences. But I caught quite a few spots that day. In fact, I was down with my wife's family from West Virginia. Her dad's actually originally from there, so I was out there with her dad and one of his cousins, who eventually was like, "Who's this guy you brought with, and why is he on our boat? Are we going to allow to take him home?" Because like I went down there and I whooped on him. I whooped on the local boy a little bit, which always feels nice. But I'm like, it's just beginner's luck. Right. It's totally beginner's luck.
Yeah. All right. So talk to me about this. So the figure 8, I kind of understand the whole concept of that. You got a fish that's following, and you usually just figure eight right beside the boat. Talk me through that. What's the philosophy behind that, and like how does that all kind of work into your fishing scheme?
Rule of thumb is, you want to figure it after every cast.
Okay.
Because, a lot of times, there's times you don't see that fish. If they're following deep, or in like John, that fish could have been under the boat. You never saw it. Yep. You don't know. So you have that slim chance of that. And you see these YouTube videos of getting blown up. Of course,
those
are
the ones that are super
attention.
popular. Is the one right beside the boat.
So you always I think you just want to like get it ingrained in your head, just no matter what, you want to figure eight. But yeah, you come in, you can even do a big loop. There's no right or wrong way. It's just that the figure eight, the muskies are going to hit on the turns. So figure eight, if you're doing two different, turns, it gives a better chance of it to hit it. But they will, they're coming in, they're predator fish. They're going to come in and smoke it if they can. And the biggest thing that I've learned in that, through guys who are better fisher than me or watching videos is a lot of times you want to speed up that retrieve. You'd think coming in, you got a fish coming in hot, it's looking at it, you want to like slow it down, you want to give it a chance. No, you want it to react to that, whether it's a bait fish, getting away, whatever. So that's another big one where it's almost like you kind of got to fight what you would naturally want to do in that situation to, speed up that retrieve. Big circles, give that. I've done it where not making a wide enough circle, and it's a really big fish, and I didn't do my circle big enough for it to actually turn on the bait, where it'll come and it, if you do a sharp circle, it'll kind of it'll veer off. So you really, that's where those long rods will come into play, and it gives you that advantage of getting that bait down in the water column, making that. But you'd be surprised the amount of fish you will put in the boat, whether like days where we're moving all these fish and we just cannot get them to bite for whatever reason. But that's where you're going to separate yourself and get those fish in the boat if they're going to hit on that figure eight or whatnot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially like when you think about, pulling the bait, and having that speed change. that all makes sense.
It works for bass and pike, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time. Yeah. Big time. In
fact, the lat was on Chickamauga, Carl Jacobson. He caught one of his biggest figure eighting a glide bait.
That's crazy.
It works for bass. I did it up on the bay. I was throwing an Alabama rig up there, and it was just an insane day where, every cast you were almost catching a fish. And there was one point where you would physically see the schools of fish running around, and they would follow your bait in. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pull a musky thing here. And I started figure eighting right next to the boat with an A-rig and just came up and smacked it. It's just one of those where...
Those wolf packs of smallmouth up there.
They're mean.
So you see the big smile.
I see you're glowing right now.
Man,
you're so go fishing now.
I love that fishery. I love those fish. That's the fishery that I cut my teeth on. And those are the fish that I, really fished a ton with smallmouth on the bay. So anytime we bring it up, I'm just like, I grin. I'm so stoked. That's where I'm actually fishing my first kayak bass tournament is out of Sturgeon Bay this year. So I dabbled in it last year. Kind of on my own, kind of put myself in my own little tournaments and thought, okay, this year I'm going to get in. I'm going to start on my home water and then parlay it into one, maybe two more this summer. And then next year, my plan is I'm running the whole tour. So I'm going to fish the full series next summer. So,
Gonna have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I thought
I'm going to need 5 18-inchers, I figure. I told my wife, I said, 2 options are going to happen. I'm going to get my teeth kicked in or I'm going to cash a check.
Yeah, but either way, you're going to have fun. So...
Right. So you and I, Ritter, we had talked about Caleb Kufal, local guy from the Elite Series. I fished against him for years.
Yeah.
Whether it's a WAPTA tournament or the BFLs out on the Mississippi or just, Wednesday, Tuesday nighters, all that kind of stuff. His podcast with Dave Mercer, right?
Oh, yeah, it was great.
You got to be in that mindset when you fish tournaments. You're not there just to fish. You got to be there to win. If you don't have that mindset, it's just like playing any sports. You want to win, whether it's playing football or whatnot, you want to play every down and win every single, down. Same thing with tournaments. You got to be in there. Yes, you're happy to fish, but you got to be in that mindset of, I'm coming out winning today. I'm cashing first place. Anything less than that, you just learn from it, right? So
I love Brian Polinick so much, not because he's so great and he's a great fisherman, but a lot of who he is, the way he fishes aligns with the way that I fish. I always like to do something different.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to be different because being different is, as he says, that's what puts you in the position to give yourself the best chance to win.
Right.
Not just compete, but to win, but finding something different.
Absolutely. And always learning, too. No, you know what I mean? Learning something new. Like, yeah, trying something no one else is doing. I mean, that's what's going to really set you apart, honestly.
Like the weird thing of, taking an A-rig and doing giant figure eights.
Yeah.
It's something different nobody else is doing.
Right, exactly. And that's something that sets, Vince apart on Little Green. He fishes completely different than a lot of guys out there, and that's why he's more successful out there, is because not only because he spends more time out there, but he fishes it different. And if I never went out there with him, I mean, I would have never caught that fish, height of the pandemic, figure eighting right next to the boat. I would have never caught it if it wasn't for Vince teaching me how to do it. So,
and I think the biggest thing too is, I can be stubborn and it's always worked for you, but like putting like that pride, like you got to do what the fish want. It's not what I want to do.
Yep.
It's not, I have my favorite bait. I know it's always worked for me.
They tell you how to catch them. You have to listen.
Right,
Yep,
exactly. It's like, you know what? Like, I don't know why. Like, this is boring fishing this lure. Like, there's no action on it. I'm almost losing interest. But if it's that's different and that's gonna work, that's what's gonna also really set you apart that way too. So like kind of like having that against yourself. That's what's helped me out a lot in the past. Or not your traditional outside weed edge or fish this deep water, do this. I mean, you got to think about too, like the angles that these fish are gonna see that bait coming from, whether it's coming from southeast or coming from the shallows and coming out, retrieving back in or this and that. You got to kind of think of all those different pieces of the puzzle and, adding that into like the grand scheme of things. Like you said, like especially tournament fishing, like playing to win, you got to look at it like a playbook, man. You know what I mean? Like that's what's going to give you a little bit more success, so.
Well, glad to have you guys in. It's been a lot of fun. We could probably keep going for hours and hours, but
I feel
time
like
does
we
not.
keep talking,
time does not have. Maybe we'll have to revisit this at some point in time in the future. But real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you if they want to find you guys on social at all?
Real simple. It's going to be John_Reznack on Instagram.
I got my personal, which is Vince_Markwiese on Instagram, and also which I just kind of started going since I'm getting back wheeling and dealing out here. Snapback Outdoors is
I like it.
Is just like kind of what you were mentioning earlier in the show. Having that personal, and I wanted a type of platform where I can just put all my reels, my hunting and fishing things. So Snapback Outdoors on Instagram. You can also find us there. So
all right, go check them out. And we're gonna wrap it up for this week. We'll catch you back on the next one. It's Tailgate Talk.